With potential WrestleMania plans and more, this is Wrestling Up. My name is John, and you're watching the Wrestling Report. Before we get into the rest of the video, make sure you subscribe to Wrestling Hub and turn on all notifications to stay up to date with everything in the world of pro wrestling. Also, don't forget to follow us on Instagram at Wrestling Hub Official and follow us on Twitter at Wrestling_Hub. On the Cheap Heat podcast, Cody Rhodes recalled his father, the late great Dusty Rhodes, telling him about his time working for the WWF, saying, "One of the things that I was told as a kid was that right after these garden shows with superstar Billy Graham is that Vince McMahon wanted to use Dusty and Superstar for his expansion. The expansion that would become what we know and where we work and the biggest global sports entertainment wrestling entity on the planet by far. They booked recording studio time. They were going to make albums. This was before rock and wrestling, where Vince had these ideas of reaching out beyond pro wrestling. As a kid, hearing that story from Dusty, I didn't believe it. I'm watching VHS videos of Hulk Hogan and Ultimate Warrior, and I thought it was his way of catching up. It was really special too. He didn't need to do that, but everyone has an ego. Come to find out, one day I'm sitting by the ring, this is before I left, I'm still doing Stardust. Vince told me the exact story, how mad he was that Dad left, and he was going to give him the whole world, and he wanted him to be the Hogan in all this. I remember my dad telling me how Hogan used to come to Championship Wrestling from Florida and watched him and revered him. It just sounded like you're just trying to chase that clout. Then I heard it from Vince, and then I heard it from Hogan and Bruce Pritchard. I hope we covered this on the documentary. I consider Dusty Rhodes a Mount Rushmore guy, and not just because he's my dad. If it's a son Mount Rushmore, I'm putting 4 Dustys. I consider him, from an industry perspective, closed circuit becoming pay-per-view the big event. The idea of sizzle and matching substance, especially what him and Superstar did in the Garden. That's why the Garden is so dang special to me. It was great to get this part of the story out there and hear it from Bruce as well. Talking about his role as Executive Vice President on the Swerve City podcast, Kenny Omega credited Cody Rhodes for his contributions. As he said, the 4th EVP, we can't mention his name, just kidding, it's Cody. I will assume this is just from knowledge of being in the business all his life, because he was born into the business, and he understood a lot from his father. He knew what we needed. He knew what we needed to line up, and things that I couldn't get. I've got good contacts for any unassigned Japanese talent that you guys need. I can be that guy. The Bucks would be like, we know great guys from SoCal or indie guys. Cody is like, okay, cool. How about this guy and this guy? We'd have a list of talent and put them together. Then Cody is like, what are we going to do about medical staffing? Oh, right, we need that too. We should have doctors. I have a contact for Doc Sampson. That's probably not going to be enough, so I had a dude named Bryce. I thought, hey man, I know you've taken care of some of our guys and you really love wrestling. Would you be able to take a full-time opportunity to do that? We got trainers through that. What else do we need? We need producers for TV, guys that actually have experience doing wrestling production. That was a Cody thing. I can get in touch with this guy. The Bucks maybe knew a guy at the beginning just to build that small infrastructure, which we didn't have. When you start checking names off the box, you think you're there, but you're not, because we were so understaffed at the beginning. Even to this day, I can confidently say we can use an extra trainer or 2. The tables are always busy. We could have a couple of gophers in case we're running low on certain things and materials. As things go, you naturally require more people to keep things running. Mentioning an upcoming back procedure he will have done, Kurt Angle noted on his podcast, they're not going to do any fusion or anything like that, thank God. They're going to clean it out. They're going to clean all the arteries out because I have a nerve going down my leg and it's bothering me. There's pain in my lower back. So they're going to clean all of that stuff out, take the bone chips out, the calcium and stuff like that. He said I should be good to go after that. He said it might not relieve all the lower back pain, but you're not going to feel the pain running down your leg. It seems that WWE assigned a top independent pro wrestler, as Bodyslam.net noted. In an update on my original report, I can now confirm that Colby Corino officially signed a deal with WWE earlier this week. Sources indicated to me that Corino is expected to report to NXT very soon and could be as early as the beginning of March. Talking about having WrestleMania in Montreal, Sami Zayn said during the Elimination Chamber press conference, as far as the passion of the audience, I think the secret's out on Montreal now. Of course, I'm biased, and I get a little extra love and all that stuff, but every performer now knows it, feels it, knows the crowd is going to rule. They know the passion's unmatched, and now the whole world knows it because they see it on TV. They see what we just did out there. They see these fans standing on their feet for 10 minutes, and they're like, damn, Montreal crowd, man, Montreal. So the word's out, somewhat biased, but a world-class city in virtually every metric. Maybe not the Olympic Stadium, which may be a factor in the whole WrestleMania decision, but I think it comes down to business stuff that's above my pay grade. But I think it has nothing to do with the passion, because if you're picking a city strictly on passion, Montreal has to be a top 3 contender. Has to be. When asked about a potential sale for WWE, Triple H said during the post-Elimination Chamber press conference, depends on who's buying, I suppose, what the offer is, what the outcome is. Stay out of it to me. And that's not a compound answer. I have the greatest gig in the world. I helped tonight in some small way create the magic we did here tonight. And to me, it's the best gig on the planet. As long as we get to do this, as long as we get to create it, as long as we get to do our jobs, and we get to go out there and put our passion on display, as long as our talent can put their passion on display and do what we do, I'm good. At that same media scrum, Edge spoke about future plans, saying, yeah, I think I would like to kind of be a jack of all trades. For example, I'd still like to continue to act, and I'd still like to be able to lend my brain to this place. I've been doing this for 31 years, and I've been here for 25. I've been able to get in with 3 generations of talent. I've stood in the ring with Terry Funk, I've stood in the ring with The Undertaker, I've stood in the ring with Seth Rollins. There are not many people that can say that. I learned a lot by doing that, and I had a lot of help along the way from the Rick Martells and Bad News Browns of the world. And they passed that knowledge on to me. So it feels like it's only fitting if I continue to pass that on, and I really love doing that too. When it comes to retirement, he noted, I try not to make any firm decisions, but here's what I can say about tonight. For 9 years, I was retired. I came back and I got to team with my wife, who I married while I was retired, and we had 2 beautiful little girls. If it looks like I'm having fun out there, it's because I'm having a blast. We get to hit a shatter machine, which we've never attempted before, and we pulled it off. I'm just ecstatic. I'm not even thinking about what I'm having for breakfast tomorrow, let alone in 6, 7, 8 months, but I do want to retire in Canada. As she picked up a huge victory at last night's premium live event, Asuka, who is set to face Bianca Belair for the Raw Women's title, has set a record with Pro Wrestling Finesse writing. Asuka is the first woman to win the Royal Rumble, Money in the Bank, and Elimination Chamber match. Touching on plans for Lesnar and Lashley after their bout at Elimination Chamber, Sean Ross Sapp reported, if you couldn't tell, the Brock Lesnar versus Lashley feud is to continue down the line, but we were told it wasn't locked in for Mania. Speaking of Lesnar, it was previously reported that Brock may have been punished for his unplanned spot at the Royal Rumble, where he attacked a referee. Fightful noted that Brock Lesnar's ref spot this time for Elimination Chamber was planned. He was not punished for the unplanned one at Royal Rumble. Touching on what is next for Bray Wyatt, who hinted at feuding with the winner of Lesnar versus Lashley, Dave Meltzer said on Wrestling Observer Radio this about a possible triple threat match. They don't throw stuff out there and not follow up most of the time, certainly not Triple H. If he did that interview, then it has to lead to something. I don't know. We'll see this week. When it comes to another triple threat involving Roman Reigns, Cody Rhodes, and Sami Zayn for WrestleMania, Meltzer said, I know what the plan was as of even a week ago, and it was Roman and Cody. It's not Sami being thrown in. Could they do it? They could always change. I thought watching the Cody interview with Sami, why not make it a 3-way? During last night's WWE event, Michael Cole introduced former UFC welterweight and middleweight champion GSP as well as Ariel Helwani, who had recently gotten into a spat with AEW president Tony Khan online, where Khan called him out for his bias during their interview. As Cole said, "On your right, there's George St. Pierre, one of the greatest MMA stars of all time. On the left, the unbiased, world-renowned combat sports journalist Ariel Helwani, who asks all the hard questions whether you want to answer them or not." Speaking to Mark Raimondi of ESPN, Mercedes Mone said this about a possible return to WWE. "I guess people like to say never say never. You never know in life. I never knew life would take me here, but I always follow my heart, so wherever my heart takes me is where I'm going to go." Mercedes would also tell Under the Ring this about signing with New Japan, saying, "This is such a huge honor for me. It made it a really easy decision to go to New Japan to help kickstart this women's division for this company. With New Japan being the biggest pro wrestling company in Japan, it was just an easy decision to be like, this is the place that I want to be. I grew up watching New Japan. I grew up watching Pro Wrestling Noah and all these Japanese women's wrestling companies growing up. So this was such an easy decision. It's a dream come true for me. I think NJPW Battle in the Valley is just going to create so much magic and so much history for women's wrestling that I just want everyone around the world to be like, this is the company that I want to be in." With Mercedes becoming the IWGP Women's Champion, Bayley could be seen in attendance leading a chant with fans. And this was your Pro Wrestling News Update. I hope you're all having a great day. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see y'all later.